Hello tribe, it is Monday, and as promised, I am going to be kicking off our week talking about inflammation. So I know that last week we talked a little bit about it, just briefly, and I finished the week talking about booze and body fat, and so hopefully that was a helpful video for a lot of people. We will actually talk a little bit about booze during the inflammation conversation as well, because booze and inflammation go together. But hopefully you guys got to watch the booze and body fat. If you didn't, you can scroll back through the page and pick up on it. I know there was some math. I know it was a little early in the day for math, but hopefully it made sense to you. And if it didn't, let me know. I can try to be a little more clear. But basically what we talked about was just keeping track of the booze that you're taking in, and that way you can use it to your, not advantage, but you can be aware of what's happening to that you can help control the outcome of it, I guess would be how I should say that. But so today we're going to kick off the week. We're going to be talking about inflammation. There is a ton of information about inflammation. And I don't know if it's just maybe partly my age, but probably a lot of the just the day-to-day activity that I do with my clients. But inflammation plays a huge, huge role in our health, whether it be good or bad. And so just to recap, inflammation is the body's response to something that is an irritant. Whether that is, like the example I used the other day, whether that's like a splinter that breaks the skin and enters your body, that's obviously an irritant, a painful irritant. Or it could even be as common as seasonal allergies. That's an irritant to the body that causes inflammation. And so we have two types of inflammation. We have the acute, which is the immediate, oh, I just cut my finger, or oh, I just stepped on a bumblebee or whatever. That's the immediate inflammation. The site swells, there's pain, it gets hot. That's your body's response to it. It's healing the area. And then there is the chronic inflammation, which some kinds of chronic inflammation can just be managed. For example, the seasonal allergies. It's not necessarily something that we have a cure for. Obviously, if we did, somebody would be a millionaire by now. So you have to manage it. You have to manage it by how much time you spend outside during that season. Whether you do something like a sinus rinse to keep your sinus passages clear of the irritant. Whether you take an allergy medication, that kind of thing. So you can manage that kind of a chronic inflammation. That is not to say that just because you're managing it, that's not to say that your body's not having harm done to it, because it is. I mean, if it's a chronic inflammation, even if it's from something like allergies. But there's also some chronic inflammation that we contribute to. So, for example, lack of sleep will result in inflammation. Alcohol consumption will result in inflammation. Eating the wrong types of food and or not eating food will result in inflammation. So really what I'm going to talk about mainly today is, and I'm not going to get super detailed because this could go on for hours, but I'm going to talk a little bit about inflammation and nutrition. And I'm going to keep it really general. I'm going to encourage you all to consult a nutritionist, trainer, or a dietitian if you really want to get specific with it, because like I said, it could go on and on. And for every general statement I make today about nutrition, please remember, all humans are different, and as soon as I say one person does good with one thing, it could be like a million people do great with one type of food, and that there's this one person who will be allergic to it. So keep that in mind. It's just general information, but just something to kind of get you thinking. So, and I did make notes because I don't want to screw this up, because it is an important topic, and I don't want to, live videos are still a little bit nerve-wracking, so I don't want to screw up. So anyway, so there are some foods that are pro-inflammatory. So in other words, they cause inflammation. And a lot of it is common sense. So for example, processed meats. They are full of unhealthy fats and preservatives. Think about preservatives. If you really think about preservatives, it's kind of gross. So that's not natural. Things that are grown or raised or alive are also everything that lives has to die at some point. So these preservatives that keep stuff on the shelf for years, months, weeks, whatever, it's kind of gross when you think about it, and it's not natural for your body. So unhealthy fats, lots of preservatives, that's the processed meat. Things like refined carbs, so breads, pastries, cereals, that kind of stuff. Again, those are things that are hanging out on a shelf a lot longer than they should. So in addition to the refined carbs, it's also a matter of preservatives. Our brilliant way that we've come up with keeping food to make it last longer, which has sustained our population longer, but it's caused some damage on the inside too. And then sugars. Sugar isn't inflammatory to the body. Now you can get sugars as the new term right now is added sugar. You can see things on the shelf and it'll say no added sugar. Well, it might be made of sugar naturally, but they just didn't add some to it, but it still means that there's sugar in it. Hi, Victoria. Oh, thank you. My new hair. Thank you. So, some people do okay with natural sugar. So, for example, a banana. A banana has a lot of natural sugar in it. It doesn't mean it's an unhealthy food. However, if you're diabetic or pre-diabetic, that is not good for your body. Your body is not responding to that the same way. So it's creating a lot of inflammation. So that's why it's so important to know your body and kind of keep track of how you feel. If we would all really take just 1 week and, as soon as we sit down to eat a meal or a snack, set a timer for 30 minutes. And at that 30-minute mark, stop what we're doing and say, how do I feel? And write that down. You would really start to notice a lot of things that your body doesn't like, especially if you're over the age of 35, if you're close to 40 or beyond, your body definitely starts to tell you by then what it likes and doesn't like. So think about, maybe you ate a banana and it tasted great in the moment, but maybe 30 minutes later, you're really kind of tired or kind of groggy. That could be your body's response to the sugar. Same thing, maybe you had a ham sandwich and 30 minutes later, you're getting a little bit of a headache and you're not feeling quite right. That could be your body's response to the preservatives. So really pay attention and you can start to notice. I think a lot of people, when they think inflammation, they think of the examples that we talked about, like the cut in the finger. Well, obviously that's instant pain. That's instantly red. That instantly heats up. That instantly is something you're like, I've got to deal with this right now. It's hurting. Things like headaches, joint pain, things like that, they kind of come on slow. They come on almost more naturally because we can ignore it. You can have a headache and you can't have a migraine and ignore it, but you can have a headache and you can ignore it. You can have a sore shoulder and you can ignore it. You can still go about your day. Whereas if you cut your finger and you're bleeding, you have to deal with that because you're going to get blood everywhere. So pay attention to how your body's responding to those kinds of foods. So let's talk about the kinds of foods that are good for your body because they help fight inflammation and they don't contribute to inflammation. So omega-3, that's a healthy fat. It's found a lot in fish. For instance, I wrote down here salmon, trout, herring. Those are good sources of omega-3. Also walnuts, pecans, flax, that kind of thing. Omega-3 can actually alter the body's response to pain and to inflammation. It can help lower the response. So if you have some sort of situation where you have chronic inflammation, omega-3 can help lower the body's response to that. So that's good. The less inflammation we have, the better, because as we'll talk about later in the week, chronic inflammation can lead to a lot of bad things. Anything that's antioxidant rich. And I feel like antioxidant rich is definitely a buzzword. It's used a lot in the food industry. You can go buy yourself a bag of gummy bears and it'll say on it antioxidant rich because they've fortified it with synthetic vitamins. That is not the same as popping a strawberry in your mouth or having a piece of, like a salad with some kale and some cabbage or something in it. Fortified antioxidants are mainly synthetic, or they've at least been some sort of a process. So your body will use them, but not the same as if you were actually eating the food. So for example, antioxidants, they can actually stop, reverse, or even repair tissue and cellular damage. So let's say you've had a situation where you've had some chronic inflammation or even some acute inflammation. Maybe you did cut your finger slicing up some fruit or something. When you take in the antioxidants, they can actually help heal your body faster. And let's say it's a chronic inflammation, they can actually help slow down that inflammation and even start healing and repairing the cells. Your body uses food to heal itself. Notice I said food, not food like products. So, let me check my notes here again. So antioxidants are basically vitamins and nutrients and minerals and plant chemicals. They are things that are found in nature, and your body uses them to heal themselves. Things like leafy greens, berries, green tea, sometimes different spices like ginger and turmeric are high in antioxidants, and some nuts and seeds. Now, the whole spiel I just gave you on antioxidant-rich food included nuts and seeds. Nuts and seeds can cause inflammation for some people. So again, you have to know your body. Typically for most people, it's safe for some berries and things like that. But again, autoimmune disorders, there's a lot of you that if you're watching this and you suffer from that, you know differently, you know your body differently. So let me talk really quickly about what I just said about the food-like products. So we have a lot of food-like products. If you go into Kroger and you see there's so many things to purchase, right? I mean, aisle after aisle after aisle. Not all of it is just true food. A lot of it is food-like products. So if you really start to pay attention to how much food am I getting versus how much food-like products am I getting, you might be surprised. And, you know, people are like, well, what's the difference? What's the difference? You know, I'm eating this cereal and it's only made of 4 ingredients. Well, that's good. That's wonderful. However, a strawberry is a strawberry. You know, lettuce is lettuce. An apple is an apple. Green bean is a green bean. Like, they're not a recipe. They're not a product. They are the food. So the more whole, real food you're getting, the more your body's actually going to get the essential nutrients. And I want you to think about that. They're called essential nutrients. That's not on accident. They are, they are essential to you and your body. So let's talk about these food-like products. So they're abundant, right? They're everywhere. They're a quick fix. They're easy to grab. Sometimes it's easier to grab the food-like product and eat that versus taking the time to actually prep the food. So basically, when you have somebody who's eating more food-like products than actual food, you're getting nutritional deficiencies. So nutritional deficiencies will cause the following. Changes in energy levels, which can result in disrupted sleep patterns. It can result in mood disorders. It can result in mental functions, the lack thereof. Have you ever had that where you've maybe not had a lot of food, or you've been on vacation eating a bunch of junk, and suddenly it's just really hard to even remember what day of the week it is or when a bill is due? That's your mental function, and it's suffering because of a nutritional deficiency. Your immune response is actually altered if you don't have, if you are suffering from a nutritional deficiency of some kind. The time that it takes your body to heal. So, you know, a lot of people, when you hear my body needs to heal, you're thinking like surgery. And yes, for sure. When someone takes a scalpel and cuts you open and does some stuff and moves some things around, yeah, that's major, and your body needs to heal from that. Well, nutritional deficiencies can make that take longer. It can take a lot longer for some people if they have nutritional deficiencies. But your body has to heal on a daily basis all day long, over and over. So maybe you get something in your eye. Well, you've scratched your eyeball. It needs to heal. Maybe like my dog jumped up on me earlier and he scratched my leg. That has to heal. I was working out earlier. I lifted something heavy. Well, when you lift something heavy, you make micro tears in your muscle fiber. They need to heal. So all day long, your body is looking for the nutrition that it needs to heal itself. And the biggest one that a nutritional deficiency can cause is inflammation. Again, your body is in a constant state of healing, and if it doesn't have what it needs to heal and move on, it's going to constantly be looking for that healing. It's going to be constantly inflamed. So some things that you can do for the nutritional deficiencies: obviously eat food, real, good, live food, not food-like products. You can supplement for nutrition. There's a big difference in the supplements that are out there in the market, so educate yourself. I never, ever, ever, ever recommend people buying vitamins off of a store shelf. That's what they call store grade, which means it's only required to be 20% pure. That's kind of gross if you think about it. Probiotics are huge, and I will probably go on a tangent. Oh, 1 second. Sorry, I was getting a call. I'll probably go on a tangent someday and talk about gut health. Probiotics are huge, especially involving inflammation. If your gut bacteria is not balanced and not healthy, you are not getting cleaned out all the time. You're not processing and digesting all the food properly. So let's say you have let's say your gut bacteria is not balanced and you're not healthy in that realm, and you start eating all the fruits and vegetables and you're like, I'm getting all the food I need because this is what Tammy said to do and I don't know why I'm not feeling better. Well, it could be because you're not absorbing it all. Your gut could be so bleh that it's not all going to where you need it to be. So probiotics are huge. And for me personally, I have to use a dietary supplement to get my probiotics because I am lactose intolerant. So typically the natural place to get additional probiotics is like yogurt. And, well, I just can't eat that without getting sick. The other thing too, if you are choosing yogurt for your probiotics, then it doesn't need to be the strawberry swirl, creamy, whatever the heck they call it. That thing is basically a hot fudge sundae, only wrapped up in a yogurt wrapper. So pay attention to where you're getting your probiotics from. Again, make sure when you are supplementing with your probiotics that you choose a high quality. Edie says, I just ate instant oatmeal, strawberry, and I want a nap. When prior to it, I was ready to clean the house. Okay, so Edie, just from reading your comment, what I'm seeing, oatmeal is a carbohydrate. Strawberries are a carbohydrate. You're missing a huge source of protein there. So your meal wasn't really balanced. You were very heavy on the carbohydrate side, but you're missing your protein and your fat. So tomorrow you could try your oatmeal and a little strawberry. There's nothing wrong with that, but you might want to throw in a couple of eggs, that type of thing. See if that makes you feel any different. And then just play with that. Some people don't do well with carbohydrates first thing in the morning. Some people do better with them later in the day. So again, it's keeping track of what you're eating and how you're feeling. So probiotics, yeah, I will most likely go on a tangent someday for probiotics. Proteins and amino acids. Proteins and amino acids, proteins and amino acids. I preach this all day long. Women in particular are always low on their protein consumption. Always. Ladies, cottage cheese is not a protein source. Okay? A protein shake is a good source of protein, but it can't be your only source of protein. You have to get protein from food. Obviously, the easier ones to get to are chicken, fish, steak, that kind of stuff. If you're a vegetarian, you need to start educating yourself on what vegetables are high in protein, and then I can guarantee you that you're not eating enough of them to get the amount of protein that you need. So find out what's high. Like, for example, I believe there's maybe 17 grams of protein in an entire head of cauliflower. So you've got to eat a lot if you're going to get what you need. Protein and amino acids are the building blocks of your body. So anytime you've had some kind of inflammation, whether it be internal tissue damage or external, like the example of getting cut with a knife, you have to your body has to rebuild that. You can't have an open wound. Open wounds lead to infections. Our body's response is, holy moly, we're cut. We got to fix this. Same on the inside. Maybe you've had some sort of, for instance, like hay fever, and you've been having trouble breathing and wheezing because you have inflammation. Your body wants to fix that. Well, it has to have all of the essential nutrients to fix it. So think about tissue repair, right? You are made of protein, so you need to take in protein to repair your tissue. And yes, again, you can supplement with your protein, but your body's going to do really well to heal faster and to take better care of itself if you're taking in real food. Side note, you've heard me say several times supplement. Please remember, a supplement is just that. It is to supplement what you are eating. You cannot take supplements and replace your meals. Yes, I know. Lots of companies have a meal replacement this and a meal replacement that. Good for them. It's not made for your health. It's made for them to sell a product. You need to look for something that has high quality vitamins, minerals, pre and probiotics, digestive enzymes. You need to look for something that is made for your health, not to sell a product. So when I'm talking about supplementing, I mean in addition to the food that you are taking in. Don't rely on supplements to create your body or to heal your body. Again, like I said the other day, you don't use nature to heal your body. You are nature. So you need to keep the nature in balance. Think of situations where nature is out of balance. The rainforest, it's out of balance. What's happening? Nature's dying off. Same thing with your body. If you're not keeping it balanced, parts of your body are going to start to get destroyed. That's tissue damage. So you need to eat properly and supplement properly to heal. Two other things really quick, and then I'll hop off of here and then we'll pick back up tomorrow. Vitamin D. A lot of people know, hi Jessica, a lot of people know or think of vitamin D for bone health. And vitamin D is important for bone health. thanks to the milk industry back in the 90s, who really needed to sell a lot of milk, most people think that's the only place you get vitamin D. It is not. There's actually more vitamin D in broccoli than there is milk. So again, educate yourself. But vitamin D is important for immune function. And again, your body, your immune system is what's fighting off invaders and infection. And so the immune system is very important to keep healthy. Your body's response to inflammation is actually altered by vitamin D. So if you are low on vitamin D, you won't be able to respond to the inflammation correctly. And then last is another topic that I could totally spend a whole day on because I'm a dork, is magnesium. It's a mineral that your body uses. And one of the best things that I know magnesium for is actually help your muscles heal, repair, and relax. Magnesium can help with muscle cramps. A lot of times we have clients after they get done working out and they're sore, I advise them to get an Epsom salt bath because the magnesium will be absorbed through the skin and help them relax. So you can see right there, just in that little snippet of time, there's tons of vitamins and minerals that will help your body heal and repair. And if you're not focusing on healing and repairing your body, you're focused on the wrong thing, because nothing else is going to happen. You're not going to feel good. You're not going to sleep good. You're not going to lose weight. You're not going to have all these things if you're not healing your body. So watch this a couple times over if you need some of those notes. If you have specific questions, let me know. But we'll pick back up tomorrow on some of the things that chronic inflammation could cause that we want to avoid. So thank you. Bye.